Hi there, you're at the Tron Wyckoff analysis session. So last week we asked the question, is Tron going to show a new all-time high? It hasn't yet, but it already went higher than the last buying climax close. So let's quickly look at the chart. Here we see where the upthrust that we put in a question mark tag previously, right? So when last week it reached the point of over 33 cents, it already surpassed the close of the buying climax back in December last year. The buying climax closed at around 31 cents 70, and this time it shows, even though like the volume itself looks way lower than what happened over there, but this one itself do show there is sufficient demand for this. So last time that jump happened in 1 week. This time this climb happened over 4 weeks. So combining these volume bars, it may not be like as low as it seems. So sometimes it's tricky to look at this volume bars, right? It looks like it's very low, but then this one happened within 1 week. These four combined may be at around 60% of what we had over there. Now the tricky part is, even though the price has shot over the green line as well as this trending box ceiling, currently is exhibiting, or even last week it returned to close at or right below the ceiling of this upward trend. So you see this box, right? So this light blue box, and as well as the current price is trying very hard to go past both this green resistance line at around 31 cents 85 and also this cross over here. So if you have been following me, you already noticed this triangle at this point. It's going to happen near October, but it can go higher. A lot of times it happens right in the middle, so between the two edges. At this point, at probably late August or early September, if we look at it now. So what would happen is it either has to break above this green line and continue the uptrend, or it may come down from the uptrend and test this pink support line at around 28 cents. So as of this moment, it's still early. We're still a few weeks away from that. If it happens like the average time frame, unless there's some crazy news coming out that make it move earlier. So this is the big picture. It's still within this upward trend. If it doesn't come down to test this or gone through this line, I'm not that worried. It's totally normal for it to come down to test this 30 cents range, because this is where the other support line is. But this is an ascending support line here as well. So things is very dynamic at this point, because it's at a very high price, near the or getting to the all-time high. The last one back in 2017 was a little bit higher than now. It was around 35 cents. The price that was made last week was still a bit lower than 35. So we'll see whether it can ride on the trend and eventually break and stay above the green line and show us a new all-time high. That's the big picture we're hoping to see. Retracement after upthrust, it's normal. It's similar to buying climax, like the automatic reaction, the AR over here. Upthrust can still have the reaction, just that it depends on whether it stays above the support, like I said. If we look at the daily, so previously, actually last week we have drawn like the upthrust is in the oven cooking, and we've already seen it just on Friday. And now that's the retracement I talked about just now. But this upthrust is different from the upthrust in the weekly chart. So this is just for the daily. So if the weekly is going to develop or continue the building of the upthrust, or comes up with an upthrust of the distribution, then the daily chart will follow. As of this moment, 3 consecutive days of red candles. Today there's still 6 hours left, but it's like it's going to close red, or at least a red pin over there. This one is extra, we don't need that. I just want to make sure it's not coming from here. Okay, that's fine. So here, support at 30 cents roughly, and there's also the upward trend box as well. Now, given what has happened, it may exhibit a little bit of wilder movements, so I will expand the box a little, even though these, so it's not getting too far, because a lot of times when we draw these channels, we have to make a decision whether we include the tip of the wicks, right? Sometimes I tend not to, because they are like sudden price movements outside of the range and then immediately close within the range. So I don't usually do that, but now, since the sign of weakness has showed us it closed outside of the box, likewise for these little candles, so I'm expanding the width a little bit more, so it is showing us whether the uptrend is continuing. So here, the selling volume isn't as high as the demand over here. Just one caveat, the volume bar on the 18th, not 18th, sorry, 19th, is it 18th, 19th? Yeah, 18th, the Friday. So this wick over here, this high bar, includes the selling from this orange resistance line. So don't get over excited about this whole green bar, because there was some selling over there. So the key point is, if this uptrend has to continue, this 33 cents resistance line has to be broken through, and the candlestick has to close above this. So we talked about the triangles earlier in the weekly chart. We talked about this triangle, yeah? So in the daily, we are not yet, it's still far. If we extend this trend box further, that is going to be way far down the line. Extend this orange line as well. That's mid-September. We are getting close to another triangle here in the daily. So remember I said somewhere in the middle, it has to break through. Either break through the orange or break outside of the upward trend. So it's probably by 3rd week of August, 2nd, 3rd week of August, it may take its move. So in roughly 2 to 3 weeks time, it may happen. So it may find support above this yellow box and eventually linger along this blue box and break out. That's one possible scenario. If it doesn't happen, it can go below this box and then start another upward trend. Sorry, that's an ugly line. What I'm trying to say is like this. That can also happen. So I try to show you different scenarios. What happens? Nobody knows, because everybody knows every day there's good news, bad news coming out. So that's going to drive how this graph is going to change. Thanks for joining me. See you in the